Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to today's album review. Today we're going to be reviewing an album requested to us requested to us by Girl for Life. So let's have a look at what she's requested. So we've already done Shimmer Season, Not My Weekend. We're now going to go for H.E.A.T by H.E.A.T. So she says it's an amazing album with vocals, not one bad song. I was a little bit surprised when I looked at the Wikipedia page. They're actually a Swedish hard rock group. I wasn't expecting that because normally with Girl for Life's request, it's kind of some kind of pop music. This is a sixth studio album by this Swedish hard rock group, H.E.A.T. The genre on Wikipedia is classed as hard rock, arena rock. The songs are here, so it's 45 minutes long, kind of a standard length album. And that's pretty much it, really. There's not too much information about it. I mean, we can have a look at a bit more about the group, H.E.A.T, maybe, clicking here. Hard rock group.
That definitely looks like arena rock, don't they?
Yeah. So, I don't know about this. I can't imagine I'm going to really like this, but I'm just kind of glad it's also something a bit different, I guess, to what we've... I don't know, just something that feels a bit different. I haven't listened to something like this for a long time. I suppose we don't really know exactly what it is yet, but always appreciate a bit of variety in our album reviews. So, Brett, what about you? It's probably a bit more your thing than mine, possibly.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going a little bit more into my territory with that one, I would say. Because I feel like we've been learning, well, I've definitely learned where maybe sort of rock in a totally different way, really. So I think this sort of arena, I've never heard of arena rock, all these genres we keep coming across and stuff, probably along the lines of what we may call power rock. So that kind of sort of poppy rock, but definitely more on the rock side of things. So potential, because there has been some good sort of power rock stuff we have listened to, which we've quite enjoyed.
It was power metal.
Oh, that was power metal, actually.
There was a group we did. I can't remember what they were called. That was a really good album, actually. That was power metal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was actually power metal. So, okay, well, I'll take back what I was saying a little bit there. But I think it'll still be on those same sort of lines from there, really. But
Sabaton.
Oh, Sabaton did the... Yeah, no, really enjoyed it. But you're right, that was definitely power metal, wasn't it? But it still could be in the same vein potentially. The hard thing is, sometimes some of it's like when we do an album again, which is going to be longer than half an hour. How repetitive would it get? How much would we take on board? And in probably case there might be at the start quite enjoy a couple of good songs, but then maybe potentially for us, our poor knowledge and our lack of enthusiasm when it comes to stuff we're not too keen on, we tend to much of there. But see what it is. And for me personally, as always, if I can get a good track or two from it that I can put onto a playlist, happy days.
Yeah, don't forget to mention we're the best music album reviewers on YouTube.
Oh, did I not mention that?
No, you didn't.
Okay. No. I'm still feel like I'm not mentioning that, but yeah.
Right, we're gonna head off and listen to it then, and let you know exactly what we thought of it in just a second. Right, so we have now listened to the album, and let's get straight into it then, as we do. First track then was Rock Your Body. So, yeah, I mean, straight away, I just put down, this is real rock. We've listened to some groups where it's kind of been, like, I don't know, pop rock, kind of different elements to it. But I just felt with this song, this was real proper rock. Sounds like it's from the 80s. It's not my type of music, but I just quite like the 80s feel to it, especially from an album that was released in 2020, and I believe recorded, at around that period as well. So I could see why people would like this song if they're into rock music. So yeah, it was just a proper rock song, 80s rock song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of what I've put to sum up this song as well. First time, that classic 80s power rock feeling straight off, and had that throughout. However, my head was bopping throughout there, and I was sort of just picturing what they looked like as well. That also kind of sort of generic sort of 80s, like bleach blondes, long hair, very rocky kind of look. From there, we also had sort of a classic guitar rock solo in the middle, and I've kind of summed up, finished here. I wonder how many of these cliche rock elements am I going to have to write up from here. I kind of finished with like doing like the sort of rock symbol with the tongue out kind of feel to it, but it was a good, I was smiling whilst listening to that, and I think you summed it quite well there. If you like your classic rock 80s style, then you would absolutely love this. But yeah, nice, good opening. It set its stall out very well in terms of this is what we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, the next track was Dangerous Ground. So the 80s theme continued, and this is obviously the style of the group. So I'm not going to mention that every single song. Again, very rocky. And my thoughts are similar to the previous song. I can see why people would like it. It's quite a likable song, but it's just not really my thing. But it is that, what I said earlier, it's that real rock music. When I think of rock music, like, this is it.
Yeah, same. Almost kind of with like the first one. Again, really enjoying it, get into it as well. I've actually put, because I did think we mentioned them possibly in our intro bit, if we hadn't. Sabaton. This had that kind of sort of Sabaton kind of feel to it there. Again, a real feel of this sort of 80s kind of pushing through there as well. Great little guitar solo from there. Great finger work on that part as well. And again, smiling, quite enjoy, even though it's not like my go-to kind of music, couldn't help but just sort of enjoy listening to it as well. So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, Sabaton. I remember liking that album. I think we did talk about it in the intro. Yeah, I definitely see similarities. I was kind of thinking that at the time. I think, as we said as well, though, Sabaton was definitely more power metal, whereas I felt this was more power rock for the most part. Third track then, Come Clean. I thought this one was a different type of song. Still very rocky, but it didn't have that same 80s feel to it. It felt a little bit more modern, perhaps. And I didn't mind it. It was all right.
Yeah, definitely. So we've lost sort of a bit of the 80s kind of feel. This one, I think here we've had a bit more sort of focus on the singing elements of the song, because I feel like the rocky music is a bit more, appears a bit more sort of in the background. It seems that little bit quieter, I thought. I kind of put a note here, it almost feels like a top 40 hit. So it feels, in other words, what we've said previously in other songs on other albums, it feels a bit more commercial, a bit more trying to be more on the pop side of things. Not massively, but enough to sort of just give it a different little bit of feel to it from there. Almost feel like it could have been like a power love ballad, but I think later on we'll probably see where that is probably going to be a lot of better option for that. But otherwise, again, this is my favourite on the album so far.
Okay. Track 4, Victory. To me, this one maybe felt like a throwback to the 90s, possibly. Again, a very strong rock song. Had a long instrumental part as well. Almost a kind of shouty chorus. I mean, the song's not really my cup of tea, but considering the genre, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I quite like this one. I sort of went back to sort of the 80s kind of thing. I've sort of wrote here, I can imagine sort of a workout montage going along with this one. So you can imagine if Rocky's working out, this is sort of the music coming on. And again, I've put reference to Sabaton. Again, I can imagine if there was like a war scene kind of thing, and sort of the music they were trying to put onto it as well. Just had that kind of real feel to it there, and especially talking about victory in the title, felt that coming through. especially the repeating of the term victory in the chorus. There was sort of like these real subtle, what we now know as growls,
Yeah.
which normally be really off-putting, but actually, because it was quite subtle and it worked well in the song, it actually gave it a really nice sort of good feeling to that one there. So I quite like that one in a way. A bit more playful, that one.
Track 5, We Are Gods. So another intense rock song. This one is a bit slower though. And now it also has a unique part in the middle. The We Are Gods part, so that's the chorus, is quite different to the rest of the song, I felt. So I just thought this song has a bit of variety to it. I kind of split it into 3 parts. The chorus, which was different to the rest of the song. So yeah, the main part of the song as well, and then the unique kind of weird part in the middle.
Yeah, I've put here it was sort of a different vibe for this one, which was I think really great to sort of feel, because I would have worried, if it was going to be too much the same throughout, how much me personally would be able to tolerate with that. So it was nice to have this little bit of difference here. It's going to sound really weird, but this one felt really American. I think that's still probably referring to that sort of real classic power rock, because I've sort of associated that with sort of American kind of music. And I know I've obviously found these obviously guys from Sweden and stuff. So it kind of made me forget that they were from there. And actually, they're not American, but it sounds so much like that there. Again, like one of the previous tracks almost feels like could be like trying to be like a top 40 hit. So definitely some more commercial elements to it there. And like I said, yeah, the sort of clapping chorus with the We Are Gods bits gives it a bit. That's, I think, maybe makes it feel a bit more on the pop side. It's nowhere near on the pop side of it, but just those little elements that just make it that little bit different from there. So again, a bit like with Victory, just the one before, just a little bit, it has a bit more playfulness to it that I quite enjoyed. So yeah, it was a thumbs up for me, that one.
Next up is Adrenaline, another hard rock song. Nothing much sticks out with this one too much for me at this point. I mean, it has a general 80s feel to it, but perhaps some more modern elements to it also. It's okay. And again, I can see why rock music fans would like it.
Yeah, again, no one actually didn't mind this one so much. The strange one with this one, I've actually said I could. You always think of boy bands doing covers of certain types of songs. We've never seen anyone actually cover proper rock songs, and I feel like this one actually, if this was converted and covered by boy bands, so I think it'd be really, really good. Just think that would be a really good element to it there. I think like because I've really got kind of feel like you can hear like the backing singers, which are just the other rock members on there. But I don't know, it feels like they were kind of singing a harmony. I don't know, it just felt something a bit different to it there, and it just felt quite a happy, upbeat, again, almost like a fun kind of song. So yeah, again, another one actually had a smile on my face that I did quite enjoy.
Yeah. Just before we continue, if you want to hear like a really good rock band, I suggest everybody should listen to Bandmade. Like, get yourself Bandmade. Come on, from Japan. Right, track 7 then. It's one by one. Yeah, again, I'm struggling to write much about this. I think as the album's gone on for a while now, and track 7. I wouldn't say I'm losing interest in it. It's just I don't know. It's quite similar kind of music. The chorus is okay. I mean, kind of catchy in a rocky way. I think the chorus, from what I remember, was kind of repeated quite a lot. But overall, it was too intense for me to really like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go intense, but yeah, definitely did more so on the rockiness side of things. But like you also said, there wasn't a lot I could probably say on this one here, and I think you said it, something up there. A lot of it didn't sort of stand out like with the other ones. I've said there's something a bit different or something that was a bit more memorable about them there, but this one there wasn't. I have said it was a bit more of a longer sort of guitar solo, which I thought was quite good. That was probably the only thing that stood out, but not massively enough to make a real big deal out of it there. But otherwise, I said it wasn't. and you said there, didn't enjoy, wasn't that great. Just not much more I can say on that one there. But yeah, good, okay one for the album.
So track 8, Nothing to Say. I put down, what was this? Finally a slow one. I like the start of this. It was a very rocky voice, you could tell he was the guy with a rock singer singing this slow song. And I got time for this. I know. It did start to rock up a little bit. I was like, I wish it wasn't doing that. But overall, it was still a soft song, especially for the album. If you compare it to the other songs, I just felt the album needed a song like this. Maybe it could have come a wee bit earlier, a few tracks earlier, possibly. But for me, this is the best song so far. I wouldn't just say like it's. How can I say it? Not just because the music on this album isn't really my cup of tea. I think it's genuinely quite a good song, actually. Quite like this one.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this because you said the same, but I also really, 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 really like this song as well. As you said, obviously it's a slower, almost power ballad from there. But what I liked about the thing that I said, I felt like the lyrics were sort of coming through with that. Really, we haven't really spoken about much of the lead singer's voice from start of me saying he sounds very American. He's actually got a really, really good voice. And just the lyrics about, talking about, it's obviously like I was saying for now, I think talking about the person as a ghost inside of the heads. It was almost like this really sort of catchy chorus. In fact, it was almost like Christmas chimes sounds as well, which I think would be really weird to hear. It wasn't exactly like that, but it was something a bit different there. And it almost could have been like an acoustic. So it was almost playing on an acoustic guitar, even though it's not fully acoustic. It's obviously other electric rock sounds going on. And the lyrics that I've put here, like, how could you leave me with nothing to say? Just, yeah, kind of real sort of nice, powerful, simple lyrics. So, yeah, really big thumbs up for me on that one.
Yeah, that's a song I definitely want to listen back to again. Track 9, Heaven Must Have an Angel. I just put here, H.E.A.T doing what they do. Just a real rock song. Thought this one felt a bit more modern than some of the others. Sounds like it could be from the noughties. Even though it's not my cup of tea, there's not much to dislike about it. Perhaps maybe this one wasn't as intense as a lot of the other songs. Had a kind of somehow hard to explain. Like it was a hard rock song, but not as hard as some of the others.
Yeah, I don't think you can say it more simply that. I've written the word here, a bit more subtle than the other ones, but it was exactly that. It was almost like it could have been a carry on of that previous song, but a bit more intense than that, but not as intense as the others. So that's why I put, a bit more subtle from there. And then I sort of went a bit more sort of deep into it because I think I enjoyed the previous song so much before, where I felt like this is like a carry on, and it's almost like it was really sad and emotional before one there, and this song felt where there's a bit more resentment and a bit more angry about sort of what's gone on. So that's what I sort of was getting from that one there. So kind of those both sort of tracks together, really sort of liked as one really.
The track 10 was Under the Gun. I felt this one was quite an intense song. Not too much in the way of vocals with this one. I think this was actually the shortest song on the album. It had a long instrumental, and overall it was just too intense for me.
I haven't got a lot to say on this one. A bit like with track we did a few previously. I said nothing really sort of stand out. We've gone back to sort of that classic power rock, American sounding 80s vibe. Again, I think because maybe it was a short song, I still quite enjoyed. Didn't mind obviously getting through that one there. And it's probably what you probably said before. H.E.A.T doing what H.E.A.T does with this one here. But again, that was a good, just solid song for the album.
So the last track was Rise. I thought the general song overall was okay. The Rise part, when they say Rise, is actually a bit annoying because it's kind of sung in a metal like heavy metal kind of way. I don't know if it's growling, but something like that. And it gives this, yeah, so it gives a song a metal feel, even though the song is very much a rock song and not a metal song. I don't know, it kind of felt like it didn't really quite go together. I quite like the singing in this song. So for me, it was a mixed song. There were some parts that I liked, some that I didn't like as much. I felt there was some real potential with this song. But yeah, just a few parts in it maybe that weren't quite as good, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's a hard one to spend with this one. I felt like this one for me felt like it wasn't sure. Obviously, it was sort of still power rock, no denying that, but sort of because we had different vibes of it from different songs where it kind of fitted in, and it was sort of a bit of a mixture kind of thing from that really. The other thing was that I felt like it was a really familiar song. I know it wasn't a cover, but it just sounded like the tune of it was something else I could. And again, I tried to re-listen to it to see if I could pick up what it was without trying to think about what I was going to write too much, and I couldn't pick up on it from there. But I was again felt like some of the others. Again, a good song. Did not to the negative. Yeah, I did not enjoy it, but and it's again just good, okay song for the album.
Okay, it's time to give our final thoughts then. So I thought it was a very consistent album. Good length, 40 odd minutes. I like the fact that the songs were also consistent in their length. Like there weren't any like really long songs and really short songs. They're all a similar length. Obviously, some were a bit longer than others. And I think considering the genre, it's not really what I like. But that being said, I thought it was actually all right. I really didn't mind it. I wouldn't be rushing back to like listen to any more albums from from H.E.A.T, because I just know I'm not. It's just not my sort of music. But I could listen to it. I got nothing against it. I thought there's some all right. I don't really dislike any songs, which I think is really really good. Sometimes when I listen to music that I don't like, that's not really my cup of tea, I could be like, oh, what is this? This is dreadful. Get it off. But I didn't feel like that with this. Like, I think I mentioned a lot there that if you're into this kind of music, I can see why people would like it. So what I'm trying to say by that is I kind of didn't mind it, but it's just too loud for me. I don't really like this kind of rock that much, so I can appreciate it, but not really my sort of thing. But track 8 was really good. And the rest of the songs were not bad. I think it's one of those albums, if it had gone on for a bit longer, if it had been like over an hour, then I might have been thinking, oh, okay, this is getting a bit too much for me now. But I think it was a good length. That's why I'm saying it was quite a consistent album. 11 tracks, all around the similar length. It was all right. I'm not complaining. Right,
yeah, definitely ticked a lot of those sort of cliche things that we like to talk about. Not too many long tracks, good length album. There was a bit of variation with it as well, so it ticks all those sort of right boxes. Why I say it was definitely a good album. Like you, would I rush to listen to the album again? No, but like I've said, probably with a lot of albums as well, if any one of these songs were to come and play again, be more than happy to listen to that. Like you, for me, track 8 was definitely the standout track. And I have actually, I forgot to mention that because I put it on the right last note here, that I have actually put that track already onto a playlist to listen to again. Yeah, like I said, I think if you like your power rock, your 80s power rock, then yeah, this is definitely for you. But that's it. I think overall, it's definitely more of a thumbs up for me overall. As well, like I said, it's just one I wouldn't rush to listen to again, but would, if I had someone say you're going to listen to that again, I wouldn't be turning my nose. I wouldn't be too disappointed with that. So maybe unlike you, maybe I would be intrigued to see a couple of things that other H.E.A.T have done. But I can also imagine if you've heard, is it going to be one of those, once you've heard one Heat album, have you heard them all? Which it sounds really, really negative that way to say it, but I know you'll probably get what I'm saying with that
Is it the
there.
same? Is
But
it the same style, basically? Yeah.
that's the thing, yeah. But if there's going to be, like a track 8 song, I know there will be a track 8 on most, if there's a, what was it called? Nothing to Say, a song like that, or something as standouts like that on each of the albums, then it's probably worth listening, in my eyes, to eventually get those potential songs to listen to further. So, yeah, I said overall a good thumbs up for me for Heat.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Heat, at least based on that album, it's like kind of what you see is what you get. I think when I looked at the album cover, it looked like kind of 80s rock, and they just do what they do best, I guess.
He'd do what he'd do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Keep the requests coming, and we will see you again soon for the next one. Goodbye.